This video is an ad for the Dreo Barista Maker. I am not a latte artist, but I know a good milk foam from a bad milk foam, and these here are spectacular micro bubbles. We'll talk about why, and we'll talk about some of the other things that you can do with steamed and or frothed milk beyond just making coffee drinks, and we'll talk about everything else you can do with the new Dreo Barista Maker, the most professional smart milk frother. Typically, achieving perfect milk foam at home requires an expensive espresso machine, also plenty of practice. It's even more challenging with plant-based milk, but the Dreo can do those too. Click my link in the description and subscribe to claim a super early bird offer on this very powerful new gizmo. So let's cover some basics. The extremely popular cafe latte is a coffee drink consisting of maybe a quarter to a third espresso, and then the rest is milk that has been heated and agitated into a microfoam. Steaming and frothing the milk conventionally is a dark art of the baristas, but with the Barista Maker, even I can do it. There are a million options. Tell it what kind of drink you're making, a cappuccino, a latte, lots of great drinks that you can make with this kind of milk. You can specify the kind of milk you're using, you can specify the temperature, you can make a cold foam if you want it, and there's a customizable stirring function for like chocolate milk, powder-based drinks like protein shakes, matcha, we'll get to that. It comes with two different kinds of impellers for different effects. They're magnetized so that they snap right onto the spinner thingy, and don't worry, it'll tell you which one to use. Inside, there are really clear fill lines telling you how much milk to put in for different purposes. There's a lid if you want to be safe, but you can let most things run without the lid, and it looks real pretty. A few minutes later, you get a beep telling you that the milk is ready. For a latte, you pour in most of the milk from a height to get it homogenized, and then for the last bit, you just go down close for some floating foam. I am not going to dishonor the artistry of baristas by trying to do any fancy art myself, but with some practice, people make spectacular designs with their microfoam on top, and the foam from the Dreo is particularly well suited to it. Let's compare it to a popular competing product that's also on the market. This one, I don't think the fill lines are as easy to read. The controls are very limited and not self-explanatory. It does not beep when ready, which is a problem because the foams start to separate as soon as they stop moving. And check out the quality of the foam. It looks sort of dull and dry on top, and let's check out the bubble size under a weak microscope. Really big bubbles, which are less stable and I think less creamy on the tongue. Here's the exact same latte-style foam from the Dreo Barista Maker. First of all, you can make more with the Barista Maker, and notice how the surface looks wet, smooth, glossy. Check out the bubbles, way tinier, smoother on the tongue, and I'm told by baristas who know that it is much easier to create intricate latte art with a foam that's this fine. But that is not all the Barista Maker can do. I'm going to break out the half and half cream, half milk, and I'm going to ask for a stiffer foam like you'd use to top a really indulgent cappuccino. Absolutely awesome stuff. Use it to make an egg cream or actually mix it into scrambled eggs, or just sprinkle on cinnamon sugar and call it a dessert. Another thing I love to do with milk foams is to use them in soups. Gonna make a tomato bisque situation here. Chop up an onion roughly. This is gonna be smooth in the end, so shape doesn't really matter. Same with a bell pepper, and then my garlic I'm just gonna smash and peel. No need to even chop it. Get all that going in some hot olive oil, and meanwhile just randomly clank up 3 big tomatoes. Once the onion mixture has gotten a good head start, I'm gonna mix in this adobo seasoning that Lauren made for another recipe and just let it toast in there for a minute. Before it burns, in go the tomatoes. Give them a good head start before we mix in some stock or water or wine, what have you. Get it to a nice simmer, cover, and cook for an hour or two until everything is soft. At this point, you could puree it or send it through a food mill or do it the simple yet physically demanding way where you kind of grind the solids through a sieve. You should just have skins and fibers left at the end. Give that a taste. It is perfect as is, but because I'm going to be mixing in some milk foam and the milk foam will not be seasoned, I want to give this some extra salt. Now, I normally don't like smooth soups because they're boring to eat, but if you float some islands of milk froth in there, that is a low-fat way to both enrich the texture and to make the eating experience more heterogeneous. I'm going for a scary face. Did it work? Now, when you eat it, you can mix the soup and the foam in the spoon, and that is fun. Or you can just blend the foam right in, and that lightens the whole soup. Take your pick. Now, you can also use the Dreo Barista Maker to mix matcha or hot chocolate, a million things, but for me, a gym bro, I love to do my protein powder in here. Normally, this stuff mixes up chunky and gross. That's my creatine in there with it. You can mix this cold if you want, but I'm doing it on the hot chocolate setting, and hand on my heart, that is a protein shake that tastes almost as good as a hot chocolate. Not only is it velvety smooth, but it has this slightly frothy texture that is legit enjoyable, which is high praise for a protein drink. Oh, and when you're ready to clean, the parts that get dirty can just go in the dishwasher if you want. Awesome. The Dreo Barista Maker is awesome. It is new, and if you click my link in the description, you can subscribe to claim a super early bird offer. Thank you, Dreo, for sponsoring this video and thereby supporting all of the work that I hope that people enjoy here on the Ragusia channel. I would toast you, but that's bad luck to do with coffee, don't you know?